I know a lot of people were probably excited to hear about, that everyone I'm sure has heard recently, the acquisitions of Activision and Blizzard by our good friends at Microsoft. Oh man, that was a bit of a whirlwind. I don't think anybody was expecting them to buy them out, but they did. And oh god, I don't remember what they paid for it.
Billions,
Microsoft
like $6 billion.
buys Activision.
It was like 18 billion.
And they bought them and Blizzard.
I think it was like 68.4 million or billion or something.
Billion.
So
yeah,
a lot of these.
Of 70 billion.
Damn.
And Facebook lost 230 billion because of the year-end lows.
Yep.
We're just kidding, Zuck. We love you. Please don't kick us off, please.
I'm part of the metaverse.
She's part of the
We don't want to get
metaverse.
flipped by the Zuck.
Yeah.
Please leave us alone.
Send me an Oculus, please.
Oh, it's not Oculus anymore. It's Meta. It's the Metaverse.
Excuse me?
Man, man,
Oh my god.
But Activision acquiring, or Microsoft acquiring Activision and Blizzard and everything. Because think about it, when you got Activision, you've got not only Activision, but you have everything that it's an umbrella for everything that Activision had. You have stuff like Treyarch. You have, I think Neversoft was on there. Hold on. Activision. This is very unprofessional what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too. So they have, of course, the Call of Duties. Activision made Sekiro?
Ooh.
Let's see. Activision owns things like Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, Warcraft. They've got... Oh, this is the deal for everything. So they own... Microsoft owns King, which is the mobile gaming giant. Oh, they're behind Candy Crush Saga. That's what they own.
Mm-hmm. It's just huge.
Activision has so many subsidiaries. Infinity Ward, Raven Software, Treyarch. That's a lot of the stuff that Activision has.
Basically, the companies that make all the Call of Duty games, both the Modern Warfares and the
indie games.
Yeah.
They merged with indie games. I mean, this was a huge buy for Microsoft, but it begs the question: how big is too big? Because it seems almost monopolistic at this point. In the same vein of Disney acquiring all these other studios. You've got Fox, I've got ABC, I've got this, I've got Marvel, I've got Star Wars. It's the point where nothing is done about that, and everyone's just like, oh, this is amazing, now Disney does everything. That's the thing, though, Disney does everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when it starts to get into that dystopian style of reality, where one company holds the keys to everything. And most people are pretty content at being like, oh, it's fine, it doesn't bother me. But it is.
And
it gets to the point where it starts bothering you and it starts affecting you, it's going to be too late. Now, and I hate to, and I don't like shitting on Disney, because they've done a lot of great things, but they've done a lot of very questionable things as well. I mean, the same as any company, but having them own so much and producing majority of the content that we consume, it disturbs me in a way, but not in the way where I'm like I fear for the future. But I mean, I do, but that's neither here nor there. That's something completely different. But the future of just entertainment, of a monopoly over entertainment, when the great mouse controls what you watch and what you hear, when does it end?
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, and I feel like, and that's the con part of it. I feel like the good part of it that can come out from this, it's going to breed competition. Because
Pictures out.
I'm sorry?
What's that?
Pictures out on the stream.
The picture's out? Oh, someone said.
Why is it?
I don't know.
That is like the third time it's done that. I don't know what's going on.
Let me see if it's coming up.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're good now.
Yeah.
Oh. I was trying to say the good thing about this is I feel like hopefully it breeds competition. And that's what I'm hoping to come from all of this.
I see. So I see what you're saying with that, but with that, it's kind of hard because it's gonna breed. It will only breed competition from bigger companies. So like smaller companies that are trying to smaller like up and coming companies that want to create the shows that we may watch, and that want to do these sort of create these movies. They now have to contend with a company that has billions to literally just throw away with absolutely zero regard for anything.
Yeah.
And because they know for a fact they're gonna make it back. Whereas
they print money at this point.
yeah, exactly.
Look at the success of Spider-Man No Way Home and Kevin Feige. They are literally printing money with anything that they pump out with the MCU.
Yeah.
They're like, spend the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the money. Gonna get myself a Ferrari and get some honey. Like, they're
Exactly.
They want to go like this.
Yeah, they can literally just kind of at this point they can literally just throw away money and not even blink an eye. They can throw away billions and not even bat an eye. And that is the issue. And with Microsoft acquiring Activision, it could kind of lead to the same thing. I will say, to Sony's end, due to Sony being a Japanese company and there being so many Japanese gaming developers that a U.S. company cannot acquire just based off of their laws, that does kind of give them the edge on that point, on that end. But for, again, same thing for future small time developers that want to small up and coming developers that want to what's that?
Okay, so the thing with Microsoft's deal with Activision, apparently it's going to be reviewed by the Federal Trade Commission coming soon.
Good.
Because I just found this article about it, saying the U.S. antitrust review of Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard is going to be handled by the Federal Trade Commission, and they're going to oversee whether the takeover will harm competition, and instead of the Justice Department, said the person who wasn't authorized to speak publicly about the review, and they're sharing responsibility for reviews and mergers and which one's going to investigate a deal. Yeah, that just, exactly.
Same
and
thing
that's just going back to what we were
Disney.
talking about, of how it's either going to breed or harm competition
Yeah.
in the industry that we're in the gaming industry. And that just like I was saying, you got that monopolistic sort of grip on everything. You've got, seriously, Activision and Blizzard have so many subsidiaries underneath them. Same with Microsoft. And they're owning all of this creation.
Yeah.
It just really makes you think, like, how is this going to help? It's like the billionaires trying to go to space. Like, it doesn't help us.
Yeah, exactly.
Microsoft owning all this. It's going to literally come down to just 3 companies. Microsoft will own 33 of everything. Sony's going to own 33 and everything. And Nintendo's going to try to own some stuff, but they're like, I'm just going to make a console. It's fine.
But it kind of
exactly.
it's what it is right now. There's barely limited competition, and we live in a capitalistic society. But we have the same phone company, the same internet company. It's always the same mega people. Yeah, and I hear what you guys are saying, like what about competition? But I feel like as long as big companies get big, you can only get big so far, and I feel like
you can only inflate to a certain point before the bubble pops.
And that's inevitable. I can never say that word.
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
It is inevitable.
I like it.
Yeah. But
bubble popping is inevitable, though. Like, it's going to get to a point where it can no longer self-sustain.
And it's going to make our creative people be more creative. So,
find ways to break out of that mold. And then
you can only pull so much creativity out of people before they're burnt out.
Yeah.
And if you've got Microsoft, now I'm not saying Microsoft is going to be doing this with the companies that they own now and trying to get them to churn out multi-billion-dollar AAA titles every single year. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like Microsoft is going to have a very minimal what's the word? Influence when it comes to the companies they acquire. to the Activision, to whatever company that they own right now.
But
But
also
because they see
Bethesda as well, and they've had this like exclusivity thing going on where certain Bethesda games would only be on the Xbox, and that harms
That's going to come in question.
have one game coming out to only one exact system. I get having exclusive things like Sony had their exclusive or anything, and you want to drive up sales on your product. But here's the thing: PlayStation 4 beat out Xbox One hands down easily. There is no question about it. PS5 is doing the same thing because Microsoft is more of an all-encompassing home entertainment system. It's no longer just for video games. You've got movies, music, video games. Sony is video games.
Yeah.
And
So
that's what put them ahead during the console wars for this past generation. One before it, 360 owned PS3. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Xbox destroyed them. But Xbox has only been focused on trying to have all-in-one for their system when most people aren't wanting that. And I get if that's your computer, because basically the consoles now are like computers. They're basically computers at this point. If you have it to where you can access everything from that one console, your Netflix, your YouTube, your video games, your Spotify, more power to you. If that's what works for you, hey, that's cool. But it takes away from what Microsoft's originally started with their gaming systems, with the Xbox, of being about pushing the boundaries for video games. But now everything is, for Xbox, is either on the console or through Windows. And there's really no exclusivity there. Whereas Sony are doing things with Steam as well, with the recent releases of Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, God of War, which has been doing gangbusters on Steam.
Oh, I bet.
Like, seriously. It has been nuts for God of War on PC. And think about it, eventually, we might even see Spider-Man on PC. Because we never thought we'd see God of War on PC. Spider-Man could come to it before the release of Spider-Man 2. Because Ragnarok's coming out this year. We just got God of War on PC. It wouldn't surprise me if they pulled that deal and put Spider-Man on PS4 to get people to be like, you know what, I'm going to try to get PS5. I want to play this new game.
I think we should just wait to see, too, what's going to happen down the line. Because like they were saying, it was a year in the making with this contract. And there's probably stuff that we don't know about. And now they're going to implement NFTs and how is that going to work on the crafts. It just sounds like a mess. And we can go on and on. Yeah.
So what I will say is,
I hate NFTs.
I
NFTs
hate
are
it
future.
too, but apparently it is the now. I wouldn't say it's the future. It's the now.
it's the now, like crypto.
Yeah, and maybe that's us being in our 30s. We're
I'm
like,
not crypto no more. Crypto's ass. Yeah, my homies.
no, that's our cranky. We're getting old
You
generation.
invested in Doge, didn't you?
To the moon.
Right. I lost like $300.
Some people lost more than that.
I made $105 from Doge. I spent $25, 30 something back. I'm like, you know, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It was all on the taxes, but it was fine.
Oh my God.
But you know, but going back to Microsoft, so the way Microsoft is getting out of is trying to stray away from the business of selling games strictly to sell consoles the way Sony is. They are at this point selling games as a service in the same way, in the same vein as Netflix. That's why I kind of see all of these acquisitions. That is what all of these acquisitions are about. The more that they have to offer on their platform, the more likely you are to buy their service. Which at this point, Game Pass shits on anything Nintendo and Sony has. Like for
I will agree with you. Game
$15.
Fantastic.
Like
Yeah,
I've played so far. I've played so many games on just off of Game Pass, and for just $15, you look at what Sony at this point doesn't have shit that I will want to spend the extra $10 a month to play, on top of having to spend another $10 just to be able to play online.
Which is silly.
Yeah, it's just silly. So if Microsoft or Sony would need to have something, would need to will need to expand their older catalog through what is it called PlayStation Now. They would definitely need to expand that catalog significantly to even be able to compete with Game Pass.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, the biggest selling point of Game Pass is them being able to have those brand new, have those new releases playable day one.
Same day.
That is like me being able to play Forza Horizon the day it gets released. Me being able to play Halo the day it got released for only $15 a month.
It's,
Like what? There is literally nothing better than that. Being able to play the games that I like.
To 3 to 5 hours, you have to wait for it to download and install.
Yeah, the day of playing the game, a game same day on Microsoft is that. But their fix for that is you pre-download the game and then you have access to it that same day.
Yeah, I get that, but you're still spending the same amount of time pre-downloading it.
Yeah.
Because the consoles are like computers nowadays. In computers, you install the game and then you play it. It's gone are the days of PS3 and 360 and being able to just pop it in and boom, you're in the game.
But
because
it's worth it.
It is stored on the disc. The
But it's
console
worth
now
it.
needs to communicate with them.
But it's worth it. That small amount of wait time is worth it when you think of the grand. Again, I'm paying $15 a month to play a game as long as I want, instead of going out there and even if it's a game you wanted to try, then you're not bound to paying the $60 price tag, playing it, realizing you don't like it, and now wherever you got it from won't accept it because now it's an open package.
Yeah.
So now you're not even getting your full money back. So
Open package thing has always just been like, dude, really?
yeah,
Like, give us a break. Like, I literally just got this from here.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like a car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it depreciates, which in and of itself is something stupid completely. But
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, I get because didn't know not too long ago, GameStop did a thing where you can return a game up to 48 hours after buying it, but that was only on specific titles. But this is I like where Microsoft is going with their blueprint for selling you a gaming service and not worrying about consoles, and the fact that with Game Pass you can play it on literally anything.
Yeah.
Except for an iPhone.
I've had Game Pass on PC before, and there is quite a good library, but problem with that is like maybe 50% of the titles that they have for Game Pass on PC, I haven't checked it recently, I haven't had it in a while, is games that I'm not interested in. There was only a few titles on there that even piqued my interest. Titles like, for instance, I'll say Sea of Thieves. I really like that one. Like Forza, that's another one that you had on, that's good because a lot of those racing games are good. Halo, or the Master Chief Collection. I think Gears of War was on Game Pass for PC.
Yep, it is.
I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a while since I've used
it.
And that's fine. But the thing with me, I've never been a fan of this whole selling games as a service thing. Because look what happened with the Google Stadia. And they tried to do something similar. They have the games as a service, and you can stream them directly from the cloud, and we saw what a dumpster fire that was. I fear with Microsoft having all these different companies and them expanding their ever-expanding library, it gets to a point where games are no longer an art form like movies are, where they're not enjoyed. They pump out the titles like a sweatshop, play for 5 minutes, and go, okay, consume, give me next title now. And with Microsoft having all these different companies now under their iron fist, I'll use that as a term. They're under their iron grip. It just makes me worried for the future of video games as an expression of the creator's inner feelings of trying to put it out there as a form of art to be enjoyed instead of just consumed. That's the biggest issue is games, especially in the new AAA titles, are just consumed instead of enjoyed. Titles like Spider-Man, God of War, those are works of art. They tell a story, they are good at what they do in it, and you enjoy it. You don't just play it to consume it and go on to the next thing. I've played, when I had a PS4 and had God of War, I beat that game at least 5 times. I beat Spider-Man PS4 at least 15 times, 100% each time, because it is very engaging and I enjoy it. That is the biggest thing that I wish more people would take away from it. Games are meant to be enjoyed. You shouldn't just consume them for the sake of consuming. That's why I'm a little worried going forward with Microsoft.
I agree with you. And I even agree with you. The only thing is, that is the way it looks like it's going. That platform. Everybody, especially if one thing the pandemic hasn't shown you, streaming service went up. A lot of people are staying home. A lot of people are working at home now, and exactly. And business know that we need stuff instant, and that's where our gaming is going too. Hopefully they fix the changes so it's more seamless, but I feel like that is the way of the future. I even kind of like it, but I get where you guys are coming from though.
So it is, and then in terms of, as far as like smaller up and coming developers,
Indies.
indie companies. I feel like with Microsoft, Microsoft has the opportunity to actually benefit those if they can offer to publish their games on their or through their service and give them a decent cut, or have a contract to where they actually significantly benefit financially from that, instead of just flat out just buying the company. So okay, now you only make games for us.
Yeah.
The way so many other companies have done. You're muted.
That's one thing I've liked with Sony is when they bought Bungie, which they bought them for about almost $4 billion. They've got it to where
Chump change.
they said Bungie is going to remain a multi-platform studio, so, and they still have the option to self-publish, and they can release players on whatever platform. They will still publish for both consoles, whether it be Sony or for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or Series S. They still give them that option, which I would hope Microsoft would have done the same thing instead of, because I haven't seen anything about Microsoft letting their Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, whatever you want to call it, giving them the option to still self-publish titles.
They're not going to, because of
That's what I'm curious
controversy.
That'd be like EA buying up everything and saying, you're only making games under the EA's brand now. We're good to our people. It seems Overlord militaristic at that point.
Yeah.
Scary.
It seems dictatorship.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, let's face it, Activision and Blizzard, the shit that they've been going through lately, I think it might be a good idea for Microsoft to kind of go in and say, okay, you guys are fucking up on this aspect. We're gonna do.
We all know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think if Microsoft comes in and at the very least changes that internal work atmosphere to something more more appropriate, is I think a good word.
Tolerance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they come in and from that aspect, if they correct that, then I think they're fine.
Yeah.
While maintaining minimal influence as far as on the development side of things for them, then I think this could easily turn out to be a fantastic move all around for both Microsoft, for us as game consumers, even though I don't really play anything by Activision or Blizzard. Like, I don't give a fuck about Overwatch. I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty.
I haven't cared about Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, same.
Wow, that's a minute.
At all.
But I know so many people do. It is still a massive hit.
Yep.
It is still a huge selling game. I still know so many people that still play all of those. So I hope this turns out. This this could easily turn out to be something that benefits everybody in the long run. And I hope we see it go that way. I hope that this does turn out, because
I agree.
if everybody can win out of that acquisition, then
Yeah.
the game community as a whole will I feel will just flourish.
That's
Not the
very
fighting
positive.
game community though.
No, we're always gonna be dead last.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Tina?
No, I agree. I really do. It's surprisingly positive because, you know, I agree with where you're coming from. If we're not careful, it's gonna be that dystopian society, and I'm hoping that me, you, and the younger generation see this, and as they're coming up, they don't want that to happen, and it breeds more creativity down the line and more independentness to make something good for the people who love it, and not become an assembly line of crap. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I completely agree, because you don't want 30 years down the line Disney branded bottled water, Disney branded snack food,
Like,
Disney
goddamn.
everything,
Right.
or Microsoft branded undergarments.
Disney real estate. It would be out of control.
Real estate already.
There's
exists,
already.
okay?
Oh,
They have
really?
stocks in
Yeah, it's called Celebration.
Really?
Celebration Florida is owned by Disney.
Oh my
100%.
god.
Yes.
I did
Disney.
not know that. I
Disney
spoke
owned.
too late.
Union Busters, the Pinkertons, which are still a thing. Yes, the Pinkertons still exist.
Oh my
What?
god. Wow.
Yes. Do you know how many companies are trying to fight against unions, dude? They don't want workers to have
Yeah.
rights, but that's a whole other
I
kettle
love
of fish.
unions. I was a union
The
rep.
only people that don't
Yeah.
like unions are corporations and people who don't really understand
Yep,
what a union is.
Yeah.
Exactly, but that's a whole other topic for
Yeah.
a whole other time, and we're not talking about that.